Why am I always late? I'm running right now because I have to go to the barber and I got like no time left. See you in a bit. Looking for clever ways to grow your business? Then you are in the right place. This is where you get a behind the scenes on what's working in marketing today. My name is Wilco the Kreij, and here's what I discovered. Alright, so I just got back from the barber, and I wanted to talk today about the importance of deadlines. Because just for example, this morning I had to go to the barber at 9:30 a.m. and the amount of stuff I got done before the time is just, I love it. And today I wanted to talk about how setting a deadline can help you grow your business a lot faster. Because if I'm going to be honest, like my business would not be where I am today if I wouldn't have put myself and my business on the spot by adding some deadlines. And I think in life and like as entrepreneurs, we find reasons to not do something. Like and sometimes it's for a good reason, but like I'll give you an example. I don't want to call him by name, but a friend of mine, he's launching a business, right? And it's also a software as a service business, which means that it needs to be built first before you can put it to market, right? And every single time I talk to him, it's like, yeah, it's almost done, but we want to add this little cool thing. And then the next time, yeah, it's almost done, but like, we want to add this little cool thing. Like, there's always something that still needs to happen. There's always something that, it's never really done. I mean, I launched Viral, the business in 2015, right? A couple years ago now. And it's still not done. Like, there's still a lot of stuff I want to add. There's still, the vision I have for it is like way bigger, right? But if I would have waited until in my mind it's perfect, I would have never launched it. Like, because it's never really done, right? A business is never done. Like, it's always something to work on. And I like the reason, and I want to give you some practical examples here of how you can use deadlines in a couple of cool ways to make sure you can grow your business a lot faster. So what I did, for example, at a Viral, at some point, like I was working on it, and it's it's never going to be perfect. So at some point I picked a date and like this is going to be when I launch it. I picked it, I think like 3 or 4 months in advance, but I didn't just pick it and didn't just add it to my own calendar like, oh, this is the deadline and now I'm going to commit to it, right? If I would have done just that, then probably I would have still like not done it, like, to be honest, because there's always something like, oh yeah, this deadline is, it's important, but I want to add this one more thing. I'll just move it up by let's say 2 weeks, right? Like, what difference is 2 weeks gonna make, right? There's always something. So instead of just putting it on my own schedule, I actually informed all kind of partners and affiliates and invited them, like, I'm gonna launch this cool new business and I'm gonna launch it on this and this date. It was August 2015, it was. And because I made a social commitment, like this is when I'm gonna launch it, like, it's gonna happen one way or another. Whenever there's a deadline, I get so much stuff done because you just prioritize on what needs to happen, right? And I'll give you another real good example. For those of you who don't have a webinar in your business, like a webinar, I'm not saying that you should do a webinar, but a webinar is one of the ways that can be really effective. And I've known that for a long time. I've never really done it because I'm just not good at being live in front of an audience. It's just not my best skill. But I do know that it's really effective. And at some point I was like, I just want to get it done. But I was just delaying it, right? So at some point I was like, not anymore. And I created a vision of my mind of what the webinar could look like, but I didn't create the webinar just yet. And at that point, I sent out an invite to people who are on my email list saying like, I think it was on a Wednesday, like next Wednesday, I'm going to do this webinar about this and this subject, right? Be there, it's going to be awesome. And from that moment, I had a clear deadline, like it needed to happen. Like at 4 p.m. on that Wednesday, I needed to have a webinar done. I needed to have the slides created. I needed to have, know what I was going to say, everything, right? It was stressful, I'm not going to lie. But I got so much stuff done. Otherwise, I would have just, it would have taken me weeks or even months to get it done, right? Is it going to be perfect? No, definitely not. So the point here that I'm really trying to make is if you want to get something done, now, don't just pick a deadline for a random reason, but like envision in your mind what you want to get done. Like break it down into a step-by-step plan like I did with the webinar. I envision, all right, I need to do a webinar. It's going to be about this and this and this, like this subject, or like I'm going to make these arguments, or I'm going to teach these kind of things, right? In my mind, it was already clear. And what do I need to do? I need to create the slides, I need to like create images for it. Like I knew all the steps I needed to do, so I can at least like realistically think of like how much time it's going to cost me, then probably add a little bit extra, just so make sure you have mentally, you know everything that needs to be done, which steps you need to take. You can realistically like set a deadline that's realistic, because if you're just gonna say like, yeah, I'm gonna do a webinar, I'm gonna do it tomorrow, and you don't have anything yet, you're gonna fail, right? So you wanna make sure you do it in a realistic way. And then what you do is you just do it. You make yourself committed. And you can do that by sending out an email to your audience. You can do that by making a commitment to friends. Like even on a birthday, you say like, yeah, I'm launching this business. Like by next time we meet in like 2 months from now, I'm gonna have this and this done. Now you got social pressure. You need to get it done. Otherwise you feel like you're a loser. You're not a loser, but like in a way you are. Not gonna lie. So that's what I wanted to share with all of you. Like, set a deadline, because that's honestly, every time I set a deadline, that's when major stuff happens. Even last week, I planned out a promotion. I made a commitment to my team to send something out and to get it all ready. I needed to create a sales page. There was a lot of stuff I needed to do beforehand, and I was just delaying it, and then in like one and a half week, everything was done. Because I set a deadline. I hope by now you've watched this video and you're like, I'm gonna pick a deadline, because that's truly what's gonna bring massive focus. It doesn't need to be perfect, but it needs to be out there. And one last thing I wanna share with you, imperfect action always beats perfect inaction, right? So don't try to be perfect, just take action. So we're gonna cry here with all of you, and I'll see you all next time.